All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our first lesson about the 2 rules of improvisation, which are, of course,
always say yes.
yes.
And always make your partner look good.
I forgot to say something in our very first video, and that is our company's name, which is Freestyle Repertory Theatre. So I've got this up here because I'll probably forget again. So that's our company's name if you want to get in touch with us. Now, we have an exercise that you will remember, because we're talking to our former students here. You'll remember this exercise we did that's all about saying yes and making each other look good. See if you can get your families to do this with you. Remember, it works like this. One person hands an imaginary object to their partner. Now that's Mike's hands already saying yes to my idea of the size and shape of this. And then this happens.
Thank you for the watermelon.
Now this is a part people may not get right away. You've got to point out to them that I had no idea that it was a watermelon. Mike made up that it was a watermelon. I had the first part of the idea, that it was this size and shape. He has the second part of the idea, which is that it's a watermelon, and I, of course, say yes to that idea. Yeah, I thought you could use one, so I ordered it. They brought it from Fairway.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And then, of course, your partner is going to hand over something to you. Be totally spontaneous. You can pop out with the first thing that pops in your head. Remember, you're not trying to be creative or silly or make a lot of sense. You're trying to be spontaneous and say yes to your own first idea. In fact, as you know, the first thing that popped into your head when Mike handed me this is absolutely right. Absolutely right. And whatever popped into your family's head is absolutely right. There's way more than one right answer. And even if it's kind of an ordinary answer that pops in your head, like this is a stick, I'm still going to act like it's really an awesome stick because I want to make my partner look good. I wouldn't go like, Mike, what are you handing me a stick for? I don't need this. I'm going to say something like, oh, it's a stick.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a great, great stick.
It's for your stick collection.
Yes, I'll put it over here in my stick closet. There we go. And then we go back and forth, handing each other. See if you can get your families to hand you different sizes and shapes.
Thank you for the ice cube.
And then really spontaneously make up what it is. Oh, thank you for the pillow for the really heavy giant that lives next door. Doesn't have to make sense. Whatever you say is going to be right. Now we're going to pause, play this version with your family, and then we're going to come back and show them another version.
And I just want to, can I give them a test now?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is a test. I want you to know. Do you know what the 2 rules are? And I'm going to cover up these rules so you can't see them. So don't you look back there. Think, what are the 2 rules? Don't look. Don't you be looking. Don't you be looking. Did you get it? Super.
All right. Don't pause it, Mike, because I don't know how well my old computer is going to edit things for us. I'm just going to act like they paused it.
Okay.
And now, we'll show them that yes-anding version. You remember yes and? In improvisational theater, we have something we call saying yes and, which means you say yes to your partner's ideas and you add a little more. And this is how we did it, if you remember, with the yes-anding. One person hands something over, just like in the other version. Second person makes up what it is spontaneously.
Oh, thank you for the snowball.
And then the first person spontaneously says yes and adds a detail. Yes, and it's melting on the floor.
Yes, and it's green.
Yes, and it's full of algae.
Oh, yes, and it smells like dead fish.
Yes, and if you lick it, it surprisingly tastes like mint.
Yes, and I think I'll make it so tough that it's like ice.
Yes, and we can put it in our Coca-Cola.
Yes.
And we could keep going back and forth and doing this. But you might just take like 30 seconds to see how many details you can make up. Make sure everybody understands that you're adding on. You're not ever taking away. If Mike said, yes, and it's green, I wouldn't say, yes, and it's really blue, because he said it's green. I'm going to go with that. And
Make
the
it
other,
look good.
yeah. And then the other thing is, you want to make sure that you're spontaneous, even if you don't much like your idea. Like, I didn't like my idea that it was full of algae. That was kind of disgusting to me, but it was spontaneous, and Mike went along with it, and that's what we're working on. It could get silly, could be very realistic. Ours was silly. Some of yours might be realistic. Doesn't matter, as long as you're saying yes and making each other look good. We're going to pause here, and then we'll come back with that third way of doing it. So we'll pause, have everybody try the version you just played for them, and show them. Okay, you back? All right, this is the third version. Now you may remember in class that we say actors have to think from the bottoms of their souls up. We don't just think from our ears up. We use our whole bodies to think, and sometimes the way we behave, what we do, is way more expressive than just what we say. Like Mike just accepting my offer like this is very expressive. He didn't say anything. So we try to work on that with this third version of the game, which is trying to do this completely silently. So one person would hand something over to their partner. Now Mike can't tell me what that is. He has to show me. I think he's been really clear. He's helped me out by being so clear. He's helped me as his partner by being really clear. Now I've got to let him know that I understand. And the way in this game that we let each other know is we use the same object. And you may notice that we added a little, like we were both acting like we heard that music. If you can do this totally in silence, that will be awesome. You may have to mime a lot to make your partner understand. Keep adding some details to help them out. And if you're watching someone and you really can't understand what they're showing you, just jump in and do it with them. One last thing. Freestyle Repertory Theatre is on the roster of young audiences of New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania. So if your school is in New Jersey or Eastern Pennsylvania, you can find out more about the programs we can bring to your school at their website. And we hope when the time is right to see you in person at your school.